the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Koku Anyidoho. Lawyer Paul Admochre etranse. Na emra otranse Koku Anyidoho oneno na tiefo. Koku Anyidoho esi sudia. Wase this nonsense must stop. Na ohe ensema Koku di tuga. Utimzane hani no oshas no ochre why Mahama and any people no omaya use play the victim role no ochre as if ono Koku die. No shall say emra John Evans Fifi Atamels o ye kim na wo sha ase o mane boama ene felis ofosuko ache ene enkrofobia no matwa no na de ehye nkese pai ni lamte vandapoy eno kwa ne han papa ni lamte de han papa chele say wono ne koneba afei de woda no se dua broni esa ko eko Friends, now say the boss every munti was our call and this for Koku Anyidoho. Now we Koku Anyidoho the passion, the zeal how the guys are for. Seems an row and some organ. That here for any kind. Also this nonsense must stop. At here for young Koku Anyidoho and some atera or did you get?
So talking about me and John Mahama. Why he and his people always try to play the victim as if I have issues with them. Let me tell you, Paul. President Mills died on 24th July. 26th July in the morning, around 6 a.m., I got a call from Okujetua Blakwa. Not that we were that close, but he calls to say, oh, I'm just checking on you. Okay. Well, I accept it. 2-3 minutes later, I get a call from Omani Boama. Omani Boama and Blakwa at the time were two sides of the same coin. Omani was very frontal that, well, Sammy called you and he couldn't tell you what he should have told you. But anyway, yesterday, so which means 25th, the man died the day after, we had a meeting with the new president and a decision has been taken. He says he cannot work with you.
Oh, wow.
Yes. This is Omani Boama, an MPP boy who came through CJA.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, suddenly is calling me to tell me that the new president, and of course, subsequently the new president collapsed information ministry, added the communication and gave to him. Today he's collapsed the IT, added it to election director and given to him. So Omani is his real right-hand man. So Omani says the president says that
he cannot work with you.
For obvious reasons, he cannot work with you.
What were those obvious reasons?
He didn't state.
You should know.
And that, I don't know.
But he says it's obvious.
It wasn't obvious to me. And that by close of day, I'll be informed. So I should consider some 3 parastatals that I'll be shifted to as either deputy CEO or CEO. But as for the castle, I should forget it. I can't stay there any longer. That's how the conversation ended. Of course, at the end of that day, I didn't get a call. Three days later, I drove to Mr. Atuahoy. And this is the first time I'm mentioning his name at Westlands.
His home.
His home. I got the same information. Oh, Koku, you know, Prof is dead. And John says he cannot work with you. So are you going to go back to the bank?
Yeah. After that number of years.
Go back to the bank. Uncle Atu, well, you know, this is what John is saying. Hey! Paul, when I left Uncle Atu's house that morning and I didn't commit suicide, it is not in my DNA to come. Look, I couldn't believe it.
What did you tell Mercy?
The third one was Henry Martin Newman. Today I'm opening up.
Oh, the chief of staff.
Yes.
Your man.
Now,
your boss.
Between Atuahoy and Omani, this was even before the burial of President Mills.
Yes, the date you are mentioning.
Yeah, before the burial. Martin Newman's own was after the burial.
What did he say?
The same message. And this was in his official bungalow at Cantonments, Chief of Staff bungalow.
Yeah, where Chief of Staff.
So he asked to see me and I went. The same story that, well, his own started that, well, Sani, oh, you leave. Oh, believe, no, you leave for some 6 weeks. By the time you come back, we shall consider your political future. Mr. Newman, I've never said this story, but after 12 years, to the extent that you people continue to and let John Mahama and his boys play the victim as if I'm the bad person. Mr. Newman, after 12 years, I'm mentioning your name. Uncle Ato, after 12 years, I'm mentioning your name. Because I will not allow them to play the victim any longer as if I'm the bad person. I have always been the victim. But for the sake of cohesion, I have kept quiet. But after 12 years, I will mention the names. That the whole world know that the victim that John Mahama is playing is fake. I am the real victim. So Martin Newman tells me that John Mahama says that he cannot work with me, so I should leave the presidency. At that point, I said, well, Omani has told me, Uncle Atu has told me, Martin Newman, you are telling me, please go and tell the president that I'm not going on leave and I'm not leaving the presidency because we have an election to win and I have to protect the legacy of President Mills.
You were defying the new president.
Well, he hadn't spoken to me.
You can't do that.
Oh, listen, let me finish. So that's how I responded. I said, I'm not going anywhere. However, I'm a very regimented person. And you are a lawyer and an astute administrator. When President Mills wanted to appoint me, he got you to write to me officially.
So right.
So write.
And sack me.
And sack me. So that when I leave the presidency and I step out and anybody asks me, Koku, why have you left? Because the whole ploy that go on leave it was a ploy. Immediately you leave, they will say you have left. You don't like John Mahama. That's after the death of President Mills, you have left. Now there's something I haven't told you. The day President Mills died, Paul. By the time I returned from the 37, my father, General Anyidoho, was seated in my office at the castle.
What did he tell you?
He had come to look for a son.
For what?
Who he knew that would be traumatized because of the death of his political father.
Yeah.
He came, gave me his ties to whip on. But when he finished, you know what he told me? Koku, the president is going to be sworn, the new president is going to be sworn in tonight. You are not allowed to stay away from the swearing in. You will go to that swearing in. So gather yourself as a man and go to the swearing in. I know what I'm telling you as a father. Don't stay away from the swearing in. Paul, I obeyed my father and didn't stay away from the swearing in. Everything we could do to support John Mahama to take over. But after he got sworn in, this is what I had to go through. So I told Martin to write.
Yes, did he write?
Of course, that letter never. This job, and people are giving you some epithet, the bull. So people think that Tafla is a bull, Ujibo. So they can, corner you. So
has the letter come till today?
The letter didn't come.
Till 2016?
It never came.
Why didn't you ask to see John Mahama himself?
As president?
Yes, why didn't you ask Omani that, okay, I hear you, but I would like to talk to President Mahama?
I mean, my position was that, to the extent that he himself hasn't told me anything, so me, I'll stay there and work. But of course,
you can't stay there and work.
So I stayed.
Okay.
And that is why after 2012 victory, they moved to the Flagstaff House. If you want to stay at the castle, stay there.
So you didn't go to the Flagstaff House?
I didn't even know they were going to move. I came to office one day. They had moved. So even as a remnant at the Flagstaff House, one afternoon, Valerie Sawyer sends me a message. About 3 p.m. the message came. I should make sure that by close of day, I pack out of the castle.
She as deputy chief of staff?
I don't know what post she was holding at the Flagstaff House. But you, Valerie, it was because of your father. Otherwise, in the Koku Hill campaign itself, did you ever follow us on any campaign trail?
But that was her house.
Fine. So President Mills rewarded your father. And what people don't know, this deputy chief of staff position, Paul, it is a certain Koku Anyidoho again.
Who created it?
When we won, and the president was, because Alex was the campaign coordinator, a lawyer. But he wasn't going to make Alex chief of staff because it's a huge administrative position. Yeah. He wasn't going to make Alex AG. He told me because Alex hasn't practiced his law deeply in Ghana. So if I make him AG, he will fail. Yeah. And I don't want him to fail. I said, sir, but if he's a campaign coordinator, and it's more than likely that you do 8 years, does anything stop you from creating the office of Deputy Chief of Staff? So Alex will understudy maintain you, man. And if you create it, then because of, you are talking about Valerie also, they can operate from that angle. Oh God. Look, subsequently, Alex had a certain issue around the Woyomo case. I was the one who came to Alex's aid. He never stopped thanking me. So when today they use him to go and set up some amorphous heritage, Atamu's heritage something, just to stampede me out of what I have been doing. Then let me come to Neil Ante Vanderboy. Why I'll refer to him that way. Of the president. After we won, he thought he could take the law into his own hands. So the president goes on an official trip to China. Look, and President Mills was vetting his travel lists. If you were not supposed to be on it, you won't be on it. Now, Paul, a lot of the jealousy that came around me was that I was a speechwriter. I was the image manager. I was the PR person. I was the one managing the press corps. So I had official duties to perform on those presidential trips. Neil Ante and the other people had no official trip. Sometimes they will go through state protocol, get their names on the list, but the president will take off their list. So the thing, fast forward, President Mills dies, and that's what Neil Ante uses to buy his way into the Mahama camp. That would don't mind Koku. All of us, he was ditching us to Mills. And so as for me, Mahama, I was not part of any anti. That's how wicked and evil Neil Ante is. And today he walks around saying that he held my hand into the NDC. I've just told you my story of Bema camp.
Has he said that?
Oh, no. Oh, he says that he held my hands to Mills. Recently he says NDC. You, Neil Ante, you brought me into the NDC. So, Paul, all I've said tonight is that after 12 years, for the first time, 24th July this year, we saw the sun. People don't pay attention to, but I pay attention because I now understand realms.
What is? I don't understand. The early morning?
No. Since 24th July, 2012, it has rained
every day.
Every 24th July.
Are you serious?
For 11 years.
Are you serious?
This year, the sun was up. Because the Otuam family of President Mills for the first time appeared at Asumdwe Park to remember him and celebrate him. The realms have changed. He is smiling. And people will see that there is a God who rules in the affairs of men on this earth.
How will they see it?
They will see it.
In December?
Samuel Atamil says that he will finish me spiritually, physically, and legally. I serve a living God. I serve a living God and a righteous God. And I'm saying today, this year, we saw the sun. If they don't understand it, I understand
Cadman
it.
said something that the lady that was presented as Professor Mills's mother is 80, and Professor Mills would have been 80. Are they the same age?
That's up to them.
But where is this family from?
Good. All public records, Paul, have always stated that President Mills hailed from Ekumfi Otuam.
Yes, we all know that.
So, Fanti's accounts inherit matrilineally.
Correct.
No, be so.
Yeah.
We inherit patrilineally.
Yeah.
I went to Ekumfi Otuam a couple of times with President Mills as candidate and then even president. Ekumfi Otuam. Oh yeah, Amanzi Baku Ebimbi was a man. So I know Ekumfi Otuam. Of course. Other things maybe I don't know. But in 2012, so to Cape Coast, we don't come from Cape Coast. Inti ezi bushapenya, ezi no mami fi wo Cape Coast. President Mills mi mami ofri Otuam na sifri Asama.
Is Cadman and Mills on the same mother? Are they not the same mother?
That is where we are getting to now.
Is that correct?
That is the story now.
They are not the same mother.
That is the story we are hearing.
I don't understand.
That is the story we are hearing.
Is Samuel and Prof the same mother?
That is the story we are hearing.
What is the story we are
hearing? The
hearing?
story is that if you Cadman, akozi bushapenya, wo mami ni fe wo Cape Coast. What's the President Mills ofri Otuam? Abazintina inche wa mami kroa. Ambezi bushapenya wo Otwam ebusuam Ekozi ebusua e Cape Coast.
Is Professor Mills a twin?
No, it's not a twin. That time is a surname. So their fathers, all right. I mean, they are paternal siblings.
But not maternal.
Oh, that's what we are hearing now.
Then they are not relatives.
Thank you.
In Akan custom.
In Akan custom. That is what we are hearing. And I am not saying it. When you got up to stand up against me, he said, if it was not for you, God, the Lord, where would I be? When the enemies rose up against me. So it is God. This matter would not have been a matter. But you, Cadman, after Samia Tagos and Nilante used all the Koto, Alobam, Akobam, Ginger, Paposhito to put under their eyes and cry in this country that they have gone to dig up the remains. When you, Cadman, came, you ran to Cape Coast. There, where you are paying war, Cape Coast. Now these people are saying that, these Otwan people. And so this year, they wrote at Amos Institute, Paul, after the commissioning of Asumdwe Park. And let me also add. So this Nilante Samidia group, can you believe that they actually made a representation to President Akufo-Addo not to come and commission the park?
Why?
After the man had built it all.
Why?
That they have issues with me. And the president told them that he will commission the park. He came that Sunday in the company of his vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, with service commanders in their uniform, police band. I brought in the Achimota School Choir because I'm an alma mater. President Mills himself was an alma mater. John Mahama was invited. He didn't show up.
Are you serious?
Yes!
At the commission of Asumdwe Park.
We had members of the diplomatic corps, other chiefs.
That's a story. NDC rejects invitation to inauguration of
Thank you.
Renovated Asumdwe Park.
And Frima, Madam Frima Pare, Chief of Staff, at 3-4 meetings, insisted, Koku, we appreciate how you have championed this cause, but because it's a government project, the president insists, I insist that the former president and the NDC will be invited. I said, no problem. But they invited them, they didn't come. And since 2022, that's what they do. They won't come for any official thing. Then they wait. They come and filibust and make noise. And in Kwasini Ferry and Ejuaremu. If I were some of them, I would never set foot at Asumdwe Park. Yet they can go now, stand in it, and want to claim the glory. When they had no hand in the construction of that Asumdwe Park. Yet I, Koku Anyidoho, the person who constructed it, I must be vilified. I will take no vilification any longer from this year. It's over. The nonsense has stopped. Just yesterday, my 8-year-old daughter, she died at 8. She would have been 12 yesterday, July 31st. She died, I get no sympathies. Nothing. One of John Mahama's boys, Difagunu, goes to write publicly that I deserve the death of my daughter. Because of my wickedness, I've been taking Mahama to shrines all over Ghana and across the world to kill him. But I've not been able to kill John Mahama, so I murdered my own daughter, Paul, to use her blood for rituals to eliminate John Mahama. Jesus Christ.
We apologize for him. I'm sure he was.
Look! And that's how wicked I am. I'm callous. I'm heartless. I didn't even go for the burial. I didn't go for the funeral. At that point, Paul, I stopped being a politician. I started being a father because I have 4 other children who are alive. I shall not be accused of murdering my own daughter because of politics. And that I want to murder John Mahama, so I've murdered my daughter. So the case is running in a Tema High Court.
Oh, so he's sued?
Oh, why not? I need to clear my name. I need a whole name. My children. Because this thing called politics, that people want to just run people down. Not me and Anyidoho family. Not my mother's side, the Chegan side. No, it won't happen again. It won't continue. And guess who is Jifagunu's lawyer? Ebiji Tamakulu.
In the case?
In the case.
Defending him?
He's defending Ebiji Tamakulu in court.
But they could have apologized and just...
Thank you!
They could have apologized.
But Mahama will not tell them to come and apologize. So he sits pretty on it. Pretends he knows nothing about it. And he's the one. They do it in his name.
Is that why you hate John Mahama?
I don't hate him. I've never hated him. 2016, Asedun Ketia was nowhere to be found. I was Deputy General Secretary.
Yes.
In charge of operations. Comfortable lead press conference.
The comfortable lead press
Good.
conference.
I held a press conference because Julius Debra chief of staff, had called me that the president says they cannot find Asiedu Nketia.
They cannot find him.
His phones were off.
General Secretary.
They couldn't find him. His phones were off. So Koku, as deputy in charge of operations, we can't find your boss. His phones are off. But Sadi Samia Wuku, Mark Menu and Co. Today, this 1 minute press conference, another minute press conference, the president says you should do something. Paul, hence the comfortable lead press conference.